we go. Okay, so we got Ollé, Sam, and Robin from Allt. Guys, I think everyone on the stream has been a really big fan of your stuff since we heard the first single. What is that, like 5-6 weeks ago now?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I think.
Man, what a freaking awesome debut single to drop, man. I just have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm obviously not the first one to say that, because the reaction seems pretty damn strong. Like, how are you guys feeling about it?
I don't know. It's a bit overwhelming, actually. Didn't expect it to hit over 40K in that short amount of time. And also the 20K monthly listeners, it's just insane. Beyond anything we could have imagined.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you had a good plan. You like just releasing the tracks like a week or two apart, and you're just kind of building on the listenership. Every track's been really, really strong so far. And so today, or not today, yesterday actually was when you released the last single and the EP in full, right? And the last single was called Blindside, right?
Yeah, we dropped Blindside on Thursday.
And
we dropped the whole package yesterday.
Cool. And so I was just gonna, I think what I wanted to do is just ask you a few questions before we listen to the whole thing, because I think no one, well, maybe a few people here have had the chance to listen to everything back to back, but even I haven't yet, because I've been busy, like most people. But this is a good opportunity to do it, and I just kind of want to get suck in the vibe of the whole thing, right? So I guess this is maybe the first question is like, how do you guys know each other? How did you meet? And have you known each other a long time, or is this just a convenient assemblage?
Well, not really. We all went to the same high school, actually. Me, Robin, and Victor, who's fortunately not here right now. We were all playing like music together for a couple of years before we started this project, and a little bit later on, a few years. I think it was about the time when graduated. He joined up, started. Mainly Ollé and Victor started like making music.
It was it was quite interesting because I thought you might say that, and it was one of the things that I thought about when I was at school, and it was like, damn, I wish there was literally just like more than one person who was interested in the same music as me at school. And is it a thing in Sweden? Like, if you're into metal, you can find in the same high school like more than one person who's into the same music as you? Because like I didn't feel like that was even a possibility, like at my age. How popular is the genre, like where you guys are?
I think it kind of depends from city to city. Like in Gothenburg, metal is obviously huge.
Yeah.
That's the city to be for metal. Also, Stockholm is great, but we live in a we grew up in a small town called Karlskoga in the middle of Sweden, population 30,000.
Right.
So this is just pure happenstance that we end up going to the same school in the span of 2 years of each other, and all meet each other basically through the school choir. And I don't think we have many metal bands from around here.
I take it, Robin, you weren't singing like you do in Allt in the school choir.
Yes. Well, actually, the guys told me like, "Hey, we need a singer. Robin, you should scream." And I was like, "How the hell am I gonna scream? I can't scream." So I thought myself, and now I scream.
I need to take some lessons from you, buddy, because I've been trying and I can't do it. It's actually interesting. So is this the first kind of musical project you guys have done together in any kind of manifestation, or have you tried little stuff before and it's not quite worked out? How's it worked?
We had a project about almost exactly 2 years ago with in another name, Carbon Line.
Yeah.
And we have another EP. It's actually available on Spotify still, and we have one music video as well
And
you say Carmen Line was kind of the like testing grounds for us, like to see what works, how it works with releasing music. We also, I think we all had like very big expectations for Carmen Line, and it ended up falling just a bit flat. Like I think we went in expecting too much, you know, and it was a great learning process, I think.
What did you take? What did you take from your? You know, all great stories are built on a tale of failure. So let's call it your failure. What did you take from that, and like how have you applied that to what you're doing with Allt?
I think mainly having like structuring things, planning things out, scheduling things out, not taking things for granted. You know, the viewers and listeners, they aren't just gonna come and find you.
Yeah,
you have to like be persistent and be consistent in your work and constantly like have a great pillar of content, I think.
Yeah, you just have to front load that, don't you? And then just have a plan. You just have to prepare, and then just you got the plan and release, right?
Yeah, I think like this Dark Waters was basically finished and recorded late summer last year.
Yeah.
And all the time from then have been just preparing for the releasing it.
Wow. Well, it seems to be working, so yeah, I might be hitting you up for some advice soon. Tell me about your writing process. Like, how does it work? Is it the same for each song, or does it differ, or how do you guys go about it?
Oh, I think it differs a bit. It's mostly like for the instrumentals, it's mostly me and Victor. Mostly Victor, I'd say, who's not here, but he usually comes up with riffs. You know, he's a riff machine. He just shit out riffs basically, and then usually I kind of take those riffs and put them into context and add riffs that I have in my backlog, and you know just try to build on that. It's like a puzzle, basically.
You're more like the high level structure guy, and he's more the potatoes guy.
Yes.
yeah, pretty much. Yes.
No, that makes sense. And then, so you, which of you has kind of some kind of production experience? Because I imagine like you're getting to like a kind of pre-production phase before you're kind of sending any of these songs on, right? For main production work, right?
That's all for sure.
Yeah. I mostly handle like recording, pre-production, all that kind of stuff, synth writing, well, for the demos at least.
Right, that makes sense. And
so we recorded everything at my place.
Right. That makes sense. I did at first I was going to ask you some like really kind of specific production questions, but I'll take that offline because no one's probably interested in that apart from you and me. But yeah, so you recorded at home. Curious. I'll just ask one kind of like stupid question. Like, what are you what are you recording into? What's your kind of? Do you have a guitar chain? Do you just go DI? Or what kind of thing are you doing?
We record everything into Kempers with patches on there, and into an Audient ID14 sound card.
Nice.
Then just straight into Reaper. We also split the signal, so we get one
colored and one DI.
Yeah, exactly. And then we send the DI for reamping if it needs to be reamped.
Perfect. And so one of the things I did, shout out to Reaper, says Roman. I never got on board with it. I tried it, I downloaded it, I couldn't do it, and I ordered Cubase. So one of the things I did a couple of days ago is I watched this recent Q&A with Buster Odeholm, who did your production, right? And one of the things he said is that the mixes that he's done for you are the best that he's ever done. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's
overwhelming.
Yeah, like when we were getting the final mixes, he actually said that. Well, now I have to remix the entire new HLB record.
No shit.
Yeah,
It's true.
That is insane.
Yeah, that was kind of. Yeah, I was mad hearing that.
I mean, you must have been pretty blown away when you got even the first like draft mix from him. Like you must have been like, "Oh shit, this is going to be good."
Yeah, we knew it was going to be spicy from the first. From the first rough mix. He sent us.
How do you think? Like, what do you think he brought to the process for you? Like, I mean, without him, where do you think these songs would be? What do you think special about him?
It's kind of in the name, Impact Studios. These songs are built around atmosphere, tension, and release mostly, and like he has such a good way of like nailing the balance between the ambient parts and then just slamming on the breakdowns.
Yeah,
his and James Carey, also Impact Studios. Shout out to him.
Yeah,
like they are great at sound design, and I really think that's needed for a project like this.
It's one of the toughest. It's one of the toughest things, isn't it, to do, which is to keep something impactful but give it atmosphere at the same time, right? And it's usually like a choice between one or the other at any point in time. And if you're trying to do both, it kind of feels like you're drowning in too many frequencies. But he's manages to create like both space and impact at the same time, which is really a very difficult thing to do. And you can hear it all over your songs, which is great.
That was one of the notes we had going into it. It was like, we don't want this to be a guitar fest. Like, don't be afraid to use empty space.
Yeah.
And like use that space in contrast with the heavy parts that kick in during some of the songs.
Did he end up reamping a lot of your guitars, or did he go with your tones initially? Or what did he change, I guess is the question. What did he change from what you sent him?
I think all rhythm guitars are reamped. Some of the lead ones, the clean guitars are kept intact, if I remember correctly. And also, they revamped almost all of the drums. The core IDs are there, but they added fills, humanization, loads of little goodies like that. Like he also tracked the bass for it.
Okay.
He
tracked the bass.
Yeah, we were going to go MIDI bass first, but then he offered
that's nice.
to track it for us.
That's very nice.
So,
you're like, okay, dude, yeah, do it, man.
That was before I got my Dingwall.
I was going to say, because I was like, if you're not tracking that shit, like, there's something wrong. I'm very jealous of your bass, dude. I've been since I saw that playthrough of yours on the Facebook page, which you should check out. I've been looking up prices, and I'm like, tasty. I want one.
Yeah. Have you tried one?
I haven't tried one, and the thing is, I also saw that Victor has an Aristides, and I was saying to Ollé earlier that before the pandemic hit, I was literally just like a hair away from ordering an Aristides, and then the pandemic hit, and I was just like, yeah, I could do with maybe like holding back that $3,500 right now, just in case some shit happens. So yeah, I mean they're serious instruments, but I see now they've actually got a headless version with like, because what I want to do is I want to kind of play like a Spanish guitar player. You can kind of sit it in between your legs, like the headless version, like the Strandbergs. So that's I'm thinking, the headless Aristides might be the way to go now. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, I'm gonna ask like one more question, and then I think we'll listen to the EP, and then we'll talk a bit more afterwards. But I guess one of the things that Buster said is like with the way that he writes music, right, is he's got like an ethos, which is write evil sounding music, right? Do you guys have an ethos like when it comes to putting stuff together?
Yeah, well, I actually think both in Carmen Line and in Allt, the thing is always, as I said earlier, the balance between beautiful ambient sections and just slamming breakdowns and just nailing. I think nailing that difference between, let's say, hope and despair. I think that's that would be our ethos.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Balance.
Yeah. And big dynamics, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
Okay, let's actually listen to the thing. I'm probably not going to talk either, which is unusual, but I'm not going to talk for the whole. I need a bit of a rest after that, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot to take in.
How long did it take you to kind of put the whole thing together? Like, how long did it take, the songwriting in total?
It was a bit back and forth with all the songs. I mean, I think the opening riff for Covenant was written maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd say
Actually, I wrote it.
Yeah. Your mic is very, very loud.
Is it? Sure.
No, now it's okay. Yeah. It's okay now. You can speak.
I can?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Well, actually, I wrote it. I told Victor, like, play like this. And it was like, no, you can't do it. It's impossible. And he just did it. And we saved it for like 3 years or so. And then Ollé found out about it. We had it like in a Dropbox. It was like, I can do something about this with this. And yeah, and all is history.
Did any song take longer to write than the others? Were there like some moments where you're just like, man, I can't quite crack this one? You know, it's taken a while.
Oh yeah. Basically, the first half of Covenant was written early 2018, and it didn't come together until we figured out the breakdown part, like the breakdown part. I think mid 2019, and we were like, how are we going to finish this? Like we have the outro, we have the intro, but how are we going to get this together? Like it seemed impossible to bridge the two parts.
Yeah.
But a huge detuned breakdown is what we needed.
I think that's the answer to a lot of things in life, isn't it? Econ asks, how was the video done, and did the guys always intend to do a continuous video for the full EP? I guess the question is, was as well as his question, like from a musical standpoint, was there always a feeling that you wanted to provide some level of continuity between the like one track to the other? Was there a set running order that you kind of wanted to create build this single entity with?
Yeah, we had the idea to like do something like this. Like when we were in the planning stages of Dark Waters, we said that having a short movie like 20-30 minutes would be so cool, but we didn't really grasp that we could do it for this release, which we did.
It was always planned to have them like connected somehow. But and when we pitched it to Magnus, who did the videos, he came up with a plan that we loved right away, and it came out perfectly.
Awesome. You haven't actually released this whole video yet on YouTube?
No, it's exclusive.
It's an exclusive. I appreciate that. When is it going to be on? When is it going to be online?
I think we're probably gonna let Blindsight breathe for maybe a week at least, and then we're going to drop this.
Nice.
Not make a huge thing out of it, but those that want to watch, you got
to drip feed. You got to drip feed your content. I know this. I know the story. I guess maybe this is what about the themes of the lyrics, right? So I read what you guys have put out. You've done a lot of talking about some of the themes on social media. How do you guys come up with that? Is that something that purely down to you, Robin, or Ollé? You getting involved with that as well? How is it working?
You can start with.
Yeah, sure. Well, I write the lyrics, but Ollé is a huge part of it as well. So I start a process. I give him like a bone, and I tell him the story. This is like the concept of the song, and so, and he helps me. He puts in words. So it's like he's a huge part of it as well. Me and Ollé, I'll say.
We have a very interesting process, me and Robin, because he same for me and Victor. For me and Robin, he sends a snippet of lyrics and says, "Oh, this could work for this song," and then I let it marinate, and I often look up literature that could be connected to the lyrics in some way if they stem from somewhere. We send links back and forth between each other, really nerding into some of the subjects that the songs touch upon, and then they kind of develop in that way.
So you kind of work with a seed and then just kind of feed it basically until it kind of becomes something that you want to work with.
Yeah, we just bounce it off each other and until we get the final lyrics.
Interesting, because one of the things that I noticed, and it seems to come through in the music as well, is you said you want this kind of tension and release in the music. So there's this duality in the music, both in terms of the tension, the release, the dynamics, like the soft parts, the heavy parts, the impactful parts, but there also seems to be, from what I've read, a kind of duality in the lyrical themes in terms of, on one hand, there's a very dark and I wouldn't say nihilistic, but almost pessimistic view on the world where we are now and a pessimistic outlook. But there's also kind of a hint at opportunity for growth and opportunity for change. Do you feel like that's an accurate summation of what you guys are doing? It's kind of finding the tension between opposites.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, that's us in a nutshell.
Okay, not much of a question.
It's like the dark parts are sometimes attractive for you. It's like you feed from them. The dark parts.
Interesting.
So to find the good, this difficult thing to find the good, you need to dive into the bad, and you can get stuck in there for a long time, but eventually you find something good about it, and it's
about the struggle, right? The satisfaction in the music and the catharsis in music is coming out the other side of the struggle, right? And heavy music kind of delivers on that struggle, right? That's kind of where the satisfaction comes from, for me anyway, for a lot of people, I guess.
Thinking back now, I remember actually when we first started coming up with the concept for Dark Waters. Me personally, I had been reading tons of apocalyptic dystopian literature. Blindsight, for example, by Peter Watts. It's about the wasted potential of sentience. Consciousness is just wasted. Without consciousness, we could be so much more. And there was also a bunch of grim stuff happening in our country at the time. And I think it has something to do with one day, a cop shot a disabled person for carrying a water gun or something. And I remember it just robbed me in the worst way possible. And I remember feeling this is it. The world is ending. It's over.
It's nuts. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people around the world who are feeling that.
This was, I think, summer 2018, and then we started building this.
So it's just got worse.
Scenarios.
It's just got worse. Your prophets,
it
basically.
It actually got worse.
Your prophets. What was I going to... the Beer Jesus says Atlas Shrugged is the best dystopian. Ayn Rand is an asshole. That's all I have to say. Blindside was actually, I'd never heard of it, and I'm a big sci-fi nerd, right? I love sci-fi. So maybe you and I, Ollie, can trade some recommendations. But the Blind Side sounded very interesting, and I'm definitely going to pick that up because I really like the ideas in that thing.
It's a very depressing. Like if you ever feel happy and feel too happy, just read that book and it will set you right up. You know.
Oh man, Grimm's read it as well. He said Blind Sight is fantastic. I should tackle it. Fair enough. I had a quick question for Robin actually, because I really like your vocal tone. I wonder if that's something that you've like spent a lot of time working on, and particularly like in terms of one of the things that you hear with scream vocals is, for me, there's always a balance between brutality and kind of intelligibility, and whether you can understand what someone's saying. And for me, it feels like you kind of hit that balance very well. Like there's a definite brutality there, but I can also make out like 80% of what you're saying, which is really awesome. Is that something that you're kind of aware of, or is it something that you put any time into, or you're just kind of like, this is my tone and that's it?
Yeah, well, Victor and have actually spoke a lot about that. Like that's the good part about my voice. Like you can actually hear what you're saying, you know. And also Winston McCall has always been like, since I heard Boneyards that breakdown, I was like, damn, I want to learn how to scream. And he has the same thing, you know. You can hear every word he's saying, like pretty much. So I'd say like that has been like a huge, yes.
Awesome.
Sure,
like,
for sure.
For actual tone, like as long as I can remember, you've had that. Because you have a very distinct vocal tone, you do.
Yeah.
But you've just kind of expanded on it throughout the years. It's just still the same core, identity, so to speak. But it's just growing more fuller the more we record, which is
more into singing.
How are you? So, like, when you're recording your ideas, do you record your ideas and send them to Ollé? If you got like a little recording setup? Is that how you're doing it?
We actually do it together.
Oh, you do it
to his place, and we just try out like ideas and.
Okay, and then I was going to ask if like when Buster kind of sent you the vocal, because like vocal production is a very, I don't know, I find it a bit of a magic art sometimes. Were you kind of surprised at like how different it sounded to how you kind of produce it yourself when you're working on the pre-production stuff?
Like honestly, it didn't sound that different. It just sounded punchier.
Yeah.
The thing is with Buster though, he makes the vocals sit so damn good in the mix.
Yes.
That is a talent. Yeah.
In there. And it's awesome. You know, I can get Robin to sound good, but I can't get Robin to sound that good in a mix.
Yeah.
No. It was like the first mix we got here. I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
You sound like a band. You sound like an entity. You know, that's fucking cool. And yes. I was going to ask Robin, because obviously. I was going to say you've got like a history with a choir. I guess it like choir at school isn't really like a history with a choir, but
it was the school choir. We all went there to like skip math, and all the hot girls went to choir.
Awesome. I was going to say like, because it seems to me like there's maybe this is like a hard no for you guys. Like, would you ever think about bringing clean vocals in as an atmospheric element into your sound?
We're talking about it, and I have some ideas, but the thing is, like, we don't want the typical, you know, clean singing. We want the like atmospheric stuff, you know, that like gives you a feeling, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we might try it, like the next singles or so.
Like same as with the ambience, I'd say, and if you can't. Like, we don't want to do it if we can't implement it to serve the song. We don't want cleans just for the sake of having cleans, you know.
For sure.
If it makes sense for the composition, and if it makes sense, maybe in a storytelling perspective, like the raspy whispered vocals.
Yeah,
sure,
right.
we'll do it.
Yeah, for sure.
There are actually some clean layering vocals on both Blindsight and Covenant that James did for us.
Oh, interesting.
Just to fill everything out.
Nice. So what's next for you guys? You thinking about drummers, gigs, that kind of thing? Album?
We're looking for a drummer, but it's like the
drummer.
It's like the hardest thing.
Are you still in your hometown? Are you still trying to find someone in your hometown?
No, actually, I'm living in Stockholm right now,
Okay.
and also Victor, so we're split right now. But this COVID thing and everything is like, they're not allowed to play live. So right now we just feel like keep writing music, and like when we get to play live, we'll get a drummer.
So yeah, I guess that. So you've got the EP out now. Have you got extra material that you're holding back for? I guess maybe you've been working on material since you've completed this stuff, and you're looking to put an album together. What's kind of the plan?
There are. Yeah, Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, we're planning. We have. I don't want to say too much, but yeah, we're planning on recording, and we have a lot of material.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just a kind of a fun question that I like to ask people as a kind of final question is what. So this idea of having a guilty pleasure, like mine would be. I don't know if you know this, but like the first album that I ever owned was Ace of Base. You remember Ace of Base?
Oh.
So that would probably be my guilty pleasure. Although, like, we shouldn't feel guilty for liking stuff, But do you maybe you got an idea about what kind of stuff we wouldn't expect you to like? Maybe.
I actually love Careless Whisper by George Michael.
Yeah.
George Michael has some absolute fucking bangers.
I honestly think it's such a good song. I love it.
I agree with you, and I think also Faith is also an incredible pop song.
Yeah,
it's an incredible pop song. Like, you listen to that and you just think, my God, like, so if you'd written that, you could be happy for the rest of your life, I think. That's good. Good one, George Michael.
I also really love the Norwegian vocalist Aurora, if you've heard of her.
I do. I think she's a great vocalist, and she's just wonderfully nuts.
Yeah, she's got personality.
Personality. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's awesome. She's got some great pop songs as well. That's like proper pop. When people say pop nowadays, you think what's in the top 40, and that's mostly shit. But like, there's still some good pop music out there with like good melodies and not expected, that don't go in expected places, right? I don't know. That's how I kind of feel about music as well.
Yeah, but I'd say there's no one. All of us in the band, there's no one of us that listens only to like metal. We all have very
eclectic,
wide taste in music, and I would say I can honestly say that at least 50% of all the music that I listen to generally isn't like metal. A lot of genres.
Yeah, you listen to a ton of like Beatles stuff.
Yeah,
interesting.
Beatles all the time.
Yeah.
Lots of Pink Floyd too.
Yeah, Pink Floyd.
Love Pink Floyd. Are there any kind of bands that either of you listens to when you're in a kind of mood? Like if you're in a like a bad mood or you're pissed off, is it like what is there? Like, because some people when they're pissed they'll listen to metal to like kind of have some catharsis. But I find like when I'm pissed and I listen to metal, it just makes me even worse. So I kind of listen to like more chill stuff.
I haven't really thought about it in that way. For me, it differs a lot, but I'd say like the music like Allt.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I probably go for really, really abrasive deathcore when I'm upset. Like something like Brand of Sacrifice, Gravemind, Aversion's Crown, Lorna Shore, stuff like that. Probably, yes, because some days you just need like the grating sound of blast beats in your ears. It's just how it is.
No room for thoughts. You want to eradicate all thought. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. I'm kind of out of questions. If anyone, I think, as in chat, got any questions?
Oh shit! Sorry, I lost you guys for like a minute or so, but I think you're good.
I didn't even. Sorry, bro. I didn't notice. We were just asking about guilty pleasures. If you've got any kind of guilty pleasures in terms of music.
Shit. Well, I heard everything like Sam said, and I heard the beginning of all of then I guys. But something about like when you're pissed, I'd say like I listen to like Future Island, Beach Pit, like.
Nice. I like Future Island.
You heard of them? Yeah.
Do you like kind of a lot of synthy stuff?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Actually, when I don't do metal, I write like some EDM music. Like a lot of synths, like 80s synths, stuff like that.
You synthwave aficionado.
Yeah, exactly. Like Carpenter Brut and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Perturbator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that stuff, man. I love the kind of. Well, I love Carpenter's like soundtrack stuff. That stuff's just got such a vibe.
I'll say if I'm pissed, I play Carpenter Root. Yeah, for sure.
I was trying to find some music to put at the beginning of the stream today because I was doing because it's like a Halloween special. I was like, man, that's the kind of intro music I want. But I was trying to find copyright free stuff so it didn't get muted. I couldn't find any, so I just put dark synthwave. But yeah, that kind of Carpenter vibe is so sweet. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. It's been really nice to have you. Really enjoyable to have an interview and an in-depth chat.
And great having this up with you.
Yeah.
And don't forget, send me all of your sci-fi recommendations.
Oh, I will.
I love everything with good, threatening alien races. That's my jam. End of the world.
Threatening alien races. Have you read? You like Greg Bear, Anvil of the Stars? Have you read that? And the follow-up?
Not read anything of Greg Bear.
Yeah, some nice Greg Bear. Econ and I have an absolute favorite book of ours is called Neverness by a guy called David Zindel. It's like an 80s sci-fi that is like it's often compared to Dune, but it's fucking fantastic. It's not alien invasion kind of level. It's kind of more like philosophical, mathematical. But it's freaking awesome, and I'll send you the details on that because that's like the one book that I think to myself, man, if I was growing up now, and someone gave me that book, that shit would change my life. I kind of wish I'd read it when I was a teenager as opposed to like when I was a 30-year-old. But anyway,
yeah. If you read Hyperion by Dan Simmons, that book did that to me.
Really, because I with Hyperion I didn't feel it, man. I didn't feel it. I was
like the concepts just.
I like the concept, but I was just too. The fact that it was kind of split into separate narratives for like each character, it just kind of broke it up too much for me. I like one big plot, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that worked against it for me. But
it's kind of inaccessible like that.
Yeah. Cool. All right. It sounds like we could talk about this for ages, but it might be boring for like 90% of people. So.
All right, sick face painting, by the way, dude.
Cheers, man. Yeah, my wife did it. So yeah, cool. Props to Jules. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
With the new Music Friday, your stream is awesome.
Thanks so much, guys. I'll catch you guys maybe next week. Take it easy.
Sure.
All right.
Awesome.
See ya. Bye. Awesome. It was great to have those guys on. Really love the EP. I think everyone that has listened to it that I know has said it just sounds so fucking sick. It's going to be hard to follow up their music with anything else of the same caliber